Hello everyone, welcome you all to today's class, and today we are ready to study inverse trigonometric functions part 2. In my earlier class, we already have covered principal value branches and also very basic properties, two basic properties specifically just to mention F inverse Fx equal to x and f of f inverse x equal to x. So based on these two concepts, we have studied sin inverse of sin x equal to x, cos inverse of cos x equal to x, tan inverse of tan x equal to x. Similarly, sin of sin inverse x, x, cos of cos inverse x, x, tan of tan inverse x, x. Okay, so and of course we have taken the domain and principal branches into consideration. Okay, so in case you have not watched the first part video, please, before starting part 2, please watch the video in which I have taught the part 1 of this topic. Okay, introduction of inverse trigonometric functions specifically and principal value branches, because without principal value branches it will be difficult to study this topic. Okay, that is the crux of the, you can say, inverse trigo functions, right? So now we are in a position to study property number 3 now. So property number 3, first part, sin inverse minus x equal to minus sin inverse x for all x belongs to closed interval minus 1 1. Okay, it is the first part of the property number 3. Okay, so sin inverse minus x equal to minus sin inverse x, and let me tell you, in inverse trigonometric function and which you think it as a formula, in fact each formula is a question. So that's why you do not think like not to think this is formula, I have to just remember it and not to solve it, right? So basically all the formulas are questions here. So that's why try to derive each and every formula so that you really can enjoy the topic. So first getting this portion, so let sin inverse minus x equal to y. This implies minus x equal to sin y. Okay, so this implies what? X equal to minus of sin y, and sin minus theta equal to minus sin theta, and also the principal value branch of sin inverse is closed interval minus pi by 2 pi by 2. So minus sin y, you can write it as sin minus y, because you cannot go to third quadrant or fourth quadrant where sin function is negative. If you recall ASTC rule, all sin tan cos, so it means sin is negative if you go to third quadrant and fourth quadrant, right? But when the domain of sin x is restricted to minus pi by 2 pi by 2, then only we have inverse of that function. So that's why minus sin y can be written as sin minus y. It means we are having x equal to sin minus y. So minus y equal to sin inverse x. Okay, whenever you have fy equal to x, it means whenever you write here fy equal to x, it means you have y equal to f inverse x. So sin minus y equal to x means minus y equal to sin inverse x. This implies y is minus sin inverse x. Is it clear? Now this implies what? Y we have taken as sin inverse minus x. So we are getting sin inverse minus x equal to minus of sin inverse x. So this is the proof of the first part of this So sin inverse x minus x equal to minus sin inverse x for all x belongs to closed interval minus 1 1. Okay, so one more part I can take it here. Cos inverse minus x equal to pi minus cos inverse x for all x belongs to minus 1 1. Okay, so here you see cos inverse minus x equal to pi minus cos inverse x, and as we know cos inverse, the principal value branches is what? Closed interval 0 pi. Means in case of cos inverse we are covering first quadrant as well as second quadrant, right? So cos inverse minus x. So let's start with this. Let y equal to cos inverse minus x. It means minus x equal to cos y, or you can say x equal to minus cos y, and cosine is negative in second quadrant and also in third quadrant. But third quadrant we cannot go, because when cos is, domain of cosine function is 0 to pi, then only cosine function is invertible, right? So it means, so we are not going to third quadrant in order to take minus cos y equal to cos pi plus y. Rather we will take here cos minus, cos pi minus y is equal to cos pi minus y equal to cos minus cos y. So minus cos y can be written as cos pi minus y. It means pi minus y equal to cos inverse x. So you can say y equal to pi minus cos inverse x. Y means what? Y means cos inverse minus x. So we are getting cos inverse minus x equal to pi minus cos inverse x. Okay, so is it clear to all of you? So now see, sin inverse minus x equal to minus sin inverse x. X belongs to closed interval minus 1 1, and whenever it is cos inverse minus x, it is pi minus cos inverse x. Second domain of this function is in the closed interval minus 1 1. So in property number 3, the other functions are similar to this. So one is this, second one is this, third one is tan inverse minus x equal to minus tan inverse x. Okay, for all x belongs to set of real numbers. So this you can prove in the similar way. Fourth one is sec inverse minus x is pi minus sec inverse x for all x belongs to set of real numbers except open interval minus 1 1. Fifth part is cosec inverse minus x is your minus cosec inverse x, and sixth part is cot inverse minus x is pi minus cot inverse x for all x belongs to set of real numbers. So if you look at the property number 3, we have 6 parts. First one is sin inverse minus x equal to minus sin inverse x. Then cos inverse minus x is pi minus cos inverse x, and tan inverse minus x, it is minus tan inverse x. And please do not forget to keep the domain into consideration. Sec inverse minus x is pi minus sec inverse x for all x belongs to set of real numbers except open interval minus 1 1. Cosec inverse minus x is minus cosec inverse x, and last part is cot inverse minus x equal to pi minus cot inverse x. So the way we have proved these 2 parts, other 4 parts can be proved in the similar way. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, so next we will move to the next property, that is property number 4. So property number 4 is sin inverse x plus cos inverse x equal to pi by 2, tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equal to pi by 2, Of course, just please observe the domain. Whenever we take sin inverse x plus cos inverse x equal to pi by 2, it is for all x belongs to minus 1, 1, closed interval. Similarly, tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equal to pi by 2 for all x belongs to set of real numbers. Third one is sec inverse x plus cosec inverse x equal to pi by 2. It is for all x belongs to set of real numbers except open interval minus 1, 1. So basically we are considering the domains of the corresponding inverse trigo functions. So if I take one part out of these three parts, I think you can do other two parts. So maybe I can take the second part. Okay, so to prove, we have to prove tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equal to pi by 2 for all x belongs to set of real numbers. So here you see, to start with, let tan inverse x equal to y. It means x equal to tan y, and as you can see here, we are combining tan and cot. Tan inverse and cot inverse. So tan y can be written as cot pi by 2 minus y. We know it. Tan theta equal to cot pi by 2 minus theta. So I have used this one. So this implies what? Whenever we write x equal to cot pi by 2 minus y, it means your cot inverse x equal to pi by 2 minus y. It means cot inverse x is pi by 2 minus y means tan inverse x. So which gives us tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equal to pi by 2 for all x belongs to R. Okay, so in the similar way, the other two parts you can do. Okay, so now how to use it? So apart from other uses, maybe I can take one question associated with this. Suppose you have sine inverse 1 by 5 plus cos inverse x. It is equal to 1. So this is one of the questions from your NCERT book. The question is find x. So find x if sine inverse 1 by 5 plus cos inverse x equal to 1. So whenever we see such questions, so sine of this equal to 1. This implies sine inverse 1 by 5 plus cos inverse x equal to sine inverse 1. And as we know, sine inverse 1 means sine inverse sine pi by 2, that is equal to pi by 2. Okay, sine pi by 2 equal to 1. So sine inverse 1 equal to pi by 2. So this value is pi by 2. So we have sine inverse 1 by 5 plus cos inverse x equal to pi by 2. So comparing this with the property sine inverse x plus cos inverse x equal to pi by 2. Here sine inverse 1 by 5 plus cos inverse x equal to pi by 2. So this will be pi by 2 only when you have sine inverse theta plus cos inverse theta. Here we have 1 by 5. It is fixed. So x has to be 1 by 5. Then only we can have this property. So this implies x equal to 1 by 5. Okay, so this is one of the, you can say, simple applications of one such property. One more question also, it is also in your NCERT book. Find the value of cot tan inverse A plus cot inverse A. So cot of tan inverse A plus cot inverse A. As we know, tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equal to pi by 2. So tan inverse A plus cot inverse A is pi by 2. It means we are getting cot pi by 2, that is equal to 0. Cot 90 equal to 0. Okay, so this is the property number 4. Next, let's go for property number 5. So look at the properties. It has 3 parts. First part is prove that cosec inverse x equal to sin inverse 1 by x for all x belongs to set of real numbers except open interval -1 1. Second part is sec inverse x equal to cos inverse 1 by x for all x belongs to set of real numbers difference open interval -1 1. And third part is cot inverse x equal to tan inverse 1 by x when x greater than 0, and it is pi plus tan inverse 1 by x when x less than 0. Here x cannot be 0, right? Because if x equal to 0, cot x is not defined. So coming to the proof of these parts. So maybe this out of these first two parts I will be taking one part. So maybe I can take first part. Let cosec inverse x equal to y. It means x equal to cosec y. So as we are going to link cosec inverse and sin inverse, that means we have to find the link. I mean how to convert cosec to sin. So cosec y equal to 1 by sin y, right? It means your sin y equal to 1 by x. Okay. So here of course x not equal to 0. Here you see, whenever you consider x belongs to set of all real numbers except open interval -1 1, so it means we are already excluding 0. So we don't have any problem writing like this. So this implies y equal to sin inverse 1 by x. Y means in this case it is cosec inverse x. So that is equal to sin inverse 1 by x for all x belongs to set of real numbers difference -1 1 open interval. Okay. So second part you can do like this. It is almost similar to this. So now I will take the third. So third part, as we just said, we will prove third part means cot inverse x equal to tan inverse 1 by x if x greater than 0, and pi plus tan inverse 1 by x if x less than 0. So it means here we are having two cases. First case is case 1 when x greater than 0. Okay, so let your cot inverse x equal to y. It means x equal to cot y, that is equal to what, 1 by tan y. So 1 by x equal to tan y. Okay, so here while we are given x greater than 0, so if you just now look at the principal value branches of cot inverse, it is the open interval 0 pi. Okay, so open interval 0 pi means the angle is either in first quadrant or in second quadrant. Okay, and whenever you write x greater than 0, so and x equal to cot y, so x greater than 0 means cot y greater than 0. So as we don't have much choices, we have the choice of angle should be in first quadrant or second quadrant. X being positive, cot y is also positive. It means here y is between 0 and pi by 2. Okay, first quadrant. So 1 by x tan y. So here you see y belongs to open interval 0 pi by 2, right? Basically first quadrant. Now y equal to what? 1 by x tan y means y is tan inverse 1 by x. Y means cot inverse x, that is equal to tan inverse 1 by x. Here x greater than 0. Okay, so is it clear? Just like no other two parts, this part is like that. Okay, now let's come to the second case, in case 2, when x less than 0. So if x less than 0, it means you might have the angle in second quadrant, right? So because we are not going to fourth quadrant, right? So let cot inverse x equal to y. This implies x equal to cot y. So here you see, whenever we write x negative, it means cot y is also negative. Cot y negative in second quadrant and fourth quadrant. So as I said, we are not going to fourth quadrant because the principal value branch of cot inverse is open interval 0 pi. So the angle will be either in first quadrant or in second quadrant, right? So we are not going to fourth quadrant. I mean, even if it is, when it is negative. So as I said, so it will be in second quadrant. So y should be between pi by 2 and pi, second quadrant. So now this implies what? 1 by x equal to tan y. Okay. So here you see, whenever you write tan y and your x is negative, it means this is also negative. Okay. But it दिख रहा है positive. Okay. Now here you see, whenever you have pi by 2 y pi. So if I write here y minus pi, it means I am subtracting pi throughout. So it is minus pi by 2 less than y minus pi less than 0. So it seems like no, y minus pi is completely negative because it is between minus pi by 2 and 0. So if I write here tan y equal to minus of tan pi minus y, I think it is okay, right? Because tan pi minus y being in second quadrant, tan pi minus y is negative. So minus of tan pi minus y is negative of negative, right? So tan y can be written like this. The tan pi minus y is minus tan y. So minus of minus tan y is tan y. So here what we are doing, we are writing tan y as minus of tan pi minus y. Okay, and we also know minus tan theta equal to tan minus theta, right? So it means it can be written as tan y minus pi. Okay, so tan y minus pi. So 1 by x equal to tan y minus pi. Okay, so and you know y minus pi is actually negative as per our condition. So 1 by x is negative basically. So it means we have taken x negative and we are getting all the things as per the criteria given in the question. So 1 by x equal to this means tan inverse 1 by x is y minus pi. This implies y equal to pi plus tan inverse 1 by x. Y means here it is cot inverse x. So cot inverse x equal to pi plus tan inverse 1 by x, where x is less than 0. So cot inverse x equal to tan inverse 1 by x when x greater than 0, and cot inverse x equal to pi plus tan inverse 1 by x when x less than 0. Okay, so this is one of the common mistake the children most of the time the children do, because as they know cosec inverse x equal to sin inverse 1 by x, sec inverse x equal to cos inverse 1 by x. In the similar way, cot inverse x should be tan inverse 1 by x, right? But it happens cot inverse x equal to tan inverse 1 by x. It's true, but the condition is only when x greater than 0. It means, for example, I have, so maybe if I write here cot inverse minus root 3, right? So if you have a cot inverse minus root 3, if I do not remember the value of root 3, I mean cot pi by 6 or cot pi by 3, क्या होगा मुझे याद भी नहीं है. Suppose अगर मुझे याद नहीं है, so I may try, I can go through tan. Okay, so the common mistake children do, so they write tan inverse minus 1 by root 3. So it should not be tan inverse minus 1 by root 3, because cot inverse x equal to tan inverse 1 by x only when x greater than 0. Here you see minus root 3 is less than 0, means this condition will be applied. Either you write here, so here two ways of solving the question. Either you write here 5 plus tan inverse 1 by root 3. So you can do like this. Okay, 1 by x, yeah, x less than 0, so my tan inverse minus of this. So then here it will be pi minus tan inverse 1 by root 3. You can do like this. Or what else you can do? You can take pi minus cot inverse root 3. Cot inverse minus x equal to pi minus cot inverse x. Okay, so pi minus cot inverse root 3. Now you can take this is equal to pi minus tan inverse 1 by root 3. ये अगर आपको cot inverse root 3 की वैल्यू पता है, you can do directly, no issue. Okay, so अगर याद नहीं है, tan का वैल्यू याद मतलब है, तब tan inverse 1 by root 3 is, it is pi by 6. So you are getting pi minus pi by 6 equal to 5 pi by 6. The other way, if you want to apply this property, pi plus tan inverse 1 by x. Here x equal to minus 1 by minus root 3, which is negative. So what you should write here? Here pi plus tan inverse minus 1 by root 3. So tan inverse minus x equal to minus tan inverse x. Then you can get here pi minus tan inverse 1 by root 3. That is equal to pi minus pi by 6. It is also 5 pi by 6. Is it clear? So either you do in this way, or you solve the question in this way. You are getting the answer 5 pi by 6. Okay. So I think it's very interesting property in fact. So these three properties, out of which this one is a bit tricky. So please be very careful while applying cot inverse x equal to tan inverse 1 by x. You really have to see whether your x is greater than 0 or not. If x is less than 0, then this additional pi will come. Okay. So now it's time to take some questions. Okay, based on the concepts that we have done today. So first one is find the value of tan inverse root 3 minus cot inverse minus root 3. Okay. So if I write here tan inverse root 3, now cot inverse minus root 3. Cot inverse minus x equal to pi minus cot inverse x. So if I write here minus of, it is pi minus cot inverse root 3. And if I open the bracket, it is tan inverse root 3 minus pi, then plus cot inverse root 3. So tan inverse root 3 plus cot inverse root 3. That is equal to pi by 2. Tan inverse x plus cot inverse x equal to pi by 2. So sum of these two is pi by 2. Pi by 2 minus pi. Your answer is minus pi by 2. Okay. Second one you see sine of cos inverse 1 by 2. So if I write here sine of cos inverse 1 by 2 can be written as cos pi by 3. Okay. So see the bracket, cos inverse cos x equal to x. So pi by 3, very well it is within the principal value branch. So this is equal to pi by 3 means sin pi by 3 root 3 by 2. Here tan inverse minus root 3, that is equal to minus of tan inverse root 3. Minus of tan inverse root 3 can be written as tan pi by 3. Tan 60 and root 3. So you are getting here tan inverse tan x equal to x. So it means minus pi by 3. Okay. So while taking the value, please be very careful. Okay, the value should be within the principal value branch. We are not allowed to take any value, okay, outside principal value branch. Now fourth part is sine of sine inverse x plus cos inverse x. So sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is pi by 2. That is one of the properties. Property number 4 I think we have studied. So it is sine pi by 2, that is equal to 1. So next part is, question is twice of cos inverse 1 by 2 plus 3 times sine inverse 1 by 2. So whenever you write cos inverse 1 by 2, so किसका cosine 1 by 2 है? We know cos 60 degree. It means cos pi by 3 is 1 by 2. So cos inverse 1 by 2 will be pi by 3. So 2 into pi by 3, 2 pi by 3 plus again sine inverse 1 by 2. So it means किसका sine 1 by 2? We know sine 30 degree means sine pi by 6 equal to 1 by 2. So sine inverse 1 by 2 will be pi by 6. So 3 into pi by 6, that is your pi by 2. Okay. So it means you are getting LCM 6. Now here it is 4 pi plus 3 pi. 7 pi by 6, the answer. Next question is sine inverse of sine 4 pi by 3. So again here you see, though we know sine inverse sine x equal to x, provided that x should be within the principal value branch. So this 4 pi by 3, we cannot write here sine inverse sine 4 pi by 3 4 pi by 5 equal to 4 pi by 5. So it has to be within minus pi by 2 pi by 2 closed interval, right? So what we need to do here, sine inverse, this is sine 4 pi by 5 means if I write here pi minus pi by 5, sine 4 pi by 5 can be written as pi minus pi by 5. So sine pi minus theta is sine theta. So you are getting sine inverse sine pi by 5, that is equal to pi by 5. So this belongs to your closed interval minus pi by 2 pi by 2. So this value can be accepted. Okay. So whenever you see such question, I mean this value is not within the principal value branch, we have to reduce the angle to this, I mean like this. Next one is cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. So this can be written as pi minus cot inverse 1 by root 3, because cot inverse minus x equal to pi minus cot inverse x. So cot inverse 1 by root 3, किसका कोटेंजेंट 1 by root 3 किसका होगा? cot 60 है ना, tan 60 root 3, cot 60 1 by root 3. So here we can write pi minus pi by 3, 2 pi by 3. Okay. So now if you don't remember for cot, you can do it tan also, because once you write pi minus cot inverse 1 by root 3, cot inverse 1 by root 3 can be written as tan inverse root 3. Okay. So that is up to you, your convenience basically. So next one is cosec of tan inverse minus root 3. So here cosec of tan inverse minus root 3 means it is what? It's basically minus of tan inverse root 3. So tan inverse root 3 is pi by 3. It means you are getting here cosec minus pi by 3. Okay. Cosec minus theta is minus cosec theta. So minus cosec pi by 3, that is equal to minus of 2 by root 3. Clear? Now the next question is cos of cos inverse minus root 3 by 2 plus pi by 6. So first you simplify this one. Cos inverse minus root 3 by 2. So this is question from NCERT exemplar. Cos inverse, this means pi minus cos inverse root 3 by 2. Okay. Cos inverse minus root 3 by 2 is pi minus cos inverse root 3 by 2. Okay, plus pi by 6. Okay, so here you see, while taking this one, yes, so I am just writing here cos of pi minus cos inverse root 3 by 2. Cos inverse root 3 by 2 is what? Pi by 6. Cos 30 degrees root 3 by 2, right? So it means cos pi by 6 root 3 by 2. So cos inverse root 3 by 2 is pi by 6. So this will be your pi minus pi by 6. It means 5 pi by 6 plus this pi by 6. So you are getting here cos 6 pi by 6 means cos pi, that is equal to minus 1. Okay, and one last question is very different type. Find the domain of the function y equal to sin inverse minus x square. Okay, domain of this. So you are given y equal to sin inverse minus x square. It means your sin y equal to minus x square. Okay, so domain of the function means here you have to take all x, and you know sin y lies between minus 1 and plus 1. Maximum value of sin theta is plus 1, minimum value is minus 1. It means your minus x square is between minus 1 and plus 1. It means here if we multiply minus 1 throughout, it will be 1 greater than equal to x square greater than equal to minus 1. Okay, so if you take it in two parts, one is 1 greater than equal to x square, means x square is less than equal to 1. Second part is x square greater than equal to minus 1. Okay, x square is greater than equal to minus 1, and x being a real number, x square is non-negative. So what you can take here, x square cannot be negative, so we cannot go beyond 0. So it means this is x square less than equal to 1, and yeah, and also x square is of course greater than equal to 0, right? So here from this we can write mod x less than equal to 1. It means minus 1 less than equal to x less than equal to 1. So domain of the function y equal to sin inverse minus x square will be what? Domain will be the closed interval minus 1 and plus 1. Okay, so x lies between minus 1 and 1. Okay, so this is, that's all in today's class, and next let's meet in next class and with more properties. Okay, so thank you so much, and please watch the video video lecture given in the first prior to this video basically. Okay, I really want you to go through the principal value branches to really have a great understanding in inverse Cherenkov functions. Okay, so thank you so much.